Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Last Lap. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a few pieces of news for you guys, including some silly season news in the Xfinity and Cup Series, and then also some schedule announcements that were released for next season. But before we hop into it, just want to remind you guys, hit that subscribe button and that like button. It really does go a long way and helps the channel grow. And you can also check us out on Instagram at The Last Lap News. We try to post some content throughout the week over there as well. And as always, I have my friend and co-host Matthew on the show. Looking and feeling just a little bit better, so that's great. You're still not 100%, but it's great that you're finally making some progress here and feeling a little bit better. So how you feeling going into this week at Talladega?
Oh, I'm really nervous about this weekend, so we'll just see how everything goes, and especially for my driver, since we suck at super speedway races, so we'll see how this goes this weekend.
Yeah, so the thing about Talladega, your favorite driver could be great at this racetrack and dominate and win, or they could be great at this racetrack and get wrecked, or they could be absolutely terrible here and they could win, or terrible and they could wreck. So anything could happen at these restrictor plate racetracks. It's going to be an interesting weekend for sure. But before we hop into all of that, we have to talk about some news really quick. So some Xfinity Series news is that Daniel Hemrick it was announced that he's going to be at Colleague Racing for next season. There's a little bit of a surprising announcement there, since he has a ride at Joe Gibbs Racing right now, and I don't know what it was that drew him to Colleague, or if Joe Gibbs kind of gave him the boot out the door. I'm not really sure what happened there, but he's still has another full-time ride for next season, so that's great to hear. I would say it's a tiny bit of a downgrade since he's been running so well in Joe Gibbs Racing equipment, but that leaves 2 open spots for race cars at Joe Gibbs Racing next season. So for me, in my opinion, I think Ty Gibbs could probably fill in that role, and then maybe even someone like John Hunter Nemechek. I feel like he could fill in that role as well. So I think those could be 2 pretty good options for JGR next season. And Penske, they have not announced whether they're going to go full-time or not with one driver like Austin Cindric, or if they're just going to have a few drivers fill in throughout the season. So maybe Matt Benedetto could fill in there possibly, or somewhere else, since he came out this week and said that he has nothing lined up for next season. So a lot of places in Xfinity that have not been announced yet, but hopefully that'll come out soon. And as far as the Cup Series goes, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will be staying with JTG Daugherty Racing, which is not much of a surprise here. He brings a lot of sponsorship with NOS. That's a really big sponsorship for him. And then JTG, man, that's a mouthful. JTG Daugherty Racing, they bring a lot of sponsorship as well, like Cottonelle and all these toiletry products, and Kroger. So they have a lot of sponsorship as well. So not really surprised there to see those two continue their journey together next season. And then the schedule, that's the biggest piece of news this week. The Truck and Xfinity schedule was announced just about a week or so after the Cup Series was announced. So stay with me here because it's a lot. Shout out to Bob Pockris on Twitter and NASCAR.com website, because that's where I got all this information from. So for the Xfinity Series, they added the Portland Road Course to their schedule for next season. So that'll be interesting because NASCAR, they have not really been to the Pacific Northwest. So I think that'll be a great experiment for the Xfinity Series. That'll replace Mid-Ohio. But the trucks, they'll be going to Mid-Ohio for the first time. So Mid-Ohio still gets a race. It's just a Truck Series race instead of the Xfinity, so that's great. Bristol's going to stay the regular season finale for Xfinity, which I love. And Richmond is swapping places for Truck and Xfinity as well. The Xfinity race is going to be in the spring, and the trucks are going to be in the fall. And as far as the Truck Series go, like I said, Mid-Ohio is going to be already added on there. Sonoma, that's going to be a new racetrack as well for the Truck Series, so that'll be interesting. And what else? No Canadian Tire, no Watkins Glen. That's a bit unfortunate for those 2 racetracks, but with Canada and Canadian Tire, it's kind of expected with the whole COVID situation. So hopefully they can get back there soon, and NASCAR can kind of broaden the horizon and maybe expand to other countries in a few years. What else? IRP, Indianapolis Raceway Park. That's going to be a great racetrack. It's a short track in Indianapolis. The Truck and Xfinity Series used to race there, while the Cup Series was at the Oval for the weekend. So the Truck Series is going to be going back to that racetrack, which is great. They ran a SRX Series race there over the summer, so good to see that they're bringing that racetrack back as well. And unfortunately, they're taking a Las Vegas and a Darlington race off the schedule. Unfortunately, I wish they would keep 2 Darlington races on there for the trucks, but at least they still have 1 on there. So that's pretty much all the news. A lot of schedule announcements and changes, especially for the Truck Series. So Matthew, what do you gotta say about all the silly season news and the schedule announcement for the Truck and Xfinity Series?
Well, for the hammer to calling news, this is a decent move. Not a great move, but a decent move. I'm one that gives sympathy to Hemrick because I know he can win with the equipment he has, but he just has so much bad luck. I feel like he could have won a race or 2 this year, but things just not gone this way. But it's a decent move for calling, which he brings sponsorship and such. As for Stenhouse to TGT, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, of course, they're going to single car team next year. I knew Ryan Preece was going to be out, basically. I think Ryan Preece has more of a chance of getting a competitive Xfinity ride him at the Benedetto, because Ryan Preece, unlike the Benedetto, has won in the Xfinity Series with the good equipment. JGR, he drove the 18 car when Kyle wasn't driving that car, and Ryan Preece was able to win a couple races. So we'll see if he's able to go there or not. As for the schedule, for the Xfinity Series is a great opportunity with Portland as a brand new market. NASCAR's never touched that market before. IndyCar ARCA just started recently going there, so I cannot wait to see if NASCAR can somehow bring the Cup races there one day, but we'll see. The truck races, the Truck Series schedule, Lucas Oil, that's a great one because short track racing, that classic short track feel, that's great. And I'm looking forward to that. I don't remember any Lucas Oil raceways back then. That was so long ago, so it'll be nice to see it back. As for Sonoma, that one was surprising. I thought they would go back to Watkins Glen, but I guess they didn't see that working out, I guess. But we can't wait to see what Sonoma will be like. As for Mid-Ohio, which used to be an Xfinity, now it's going to be for trucks. That's replaced the Canadian Tire, and I hate to see that, but that doesn't surprise me because, the whole COVID thing, the border situation. That's gonna be a lot of trouble for these teams going through all that processing and such. So that doesn't surprise me, but it is what it is. But I like the schedule for these two series for next year.
All right, so without further ado, time to hop into our picks for this weekend. At Talladega, anybody could win, so it'll be interesting. If you're in the field, you pretty much have a shot to win. Whether I don't want to say whether you're in the field or not, because obviously there's a few teams that Raceway Racing. Sorry, just had to get that out there.
Jeez, chill.
Sorry, I had to get that out there. Sorry, there's a few teams out there that that have like 0.1% chance of winning, but. Matthew, go ahead and give me your Truck and Xfinity picks. Sorry to Raceway Racing, but I just had to throw that out there. Oh, wait, I got one more. So, in the Truck Series, please don't pick Jennifer Jo Cobb. Please. Don't do that, please.
Wait, no. No. Maybe I should pick, No, never mind. Okay, so my truck series pick is going to be John Hunter Nemechek. I honestly no clue who to pick for this race. So, I mean, I just got to go with the best bet, my safe bet, basically. So that's why I got him. My Xfinity Series pick is going to be, of course, a calling car. And, of course, it's going to be Justin Haley, the Super Speedway King in the Xfinity Series. I mean, all 4 of his wins are from Super Speedway races, so I got Justin Haley.
Yeah, kind of.
Plus a Cup win.
Yep. Justin Haley does have a Cup win as well at our Super Speedway track. I always keep saying restrictor plate, and that's whatever. Anyways, so
Come on, man.
So for me in the truck series, I'm gonna go with Ben Rhodes because Thor Sport, they've been pretty good at restrictor. I almost said it again. Oh my goodness. They've been pretty good at super speedway races in the past. So I'm going to go with Ben Rhodes here. He won at Daytona earlier this season, so I think he's got a pretty good shot to win at Talladega. And for the Xfinity Series, I was actually going back and forth between the two. I would arguably call them favorites for the championship right now between Austin Cindric and AJ Allmendinger, but I'm going to go with AJ Allmendinger because he has teammates, and Colleague Racing has been dominant at these super speedway races. Finally got it right. Whereas Austin Cindric, he basically has Riley Herbst as a teammate, and yeah. So if more than likely one of them is probably going to get taken out early in the race, which means there's only going to be one Ford, if any, left. So he's not going to have any help at all late in this race. So I'm going to go with AJ Allmendinger because he has teammates and he has help. So that's going to wrap it up for our Xfinity picks and hopping into the Cup Series as well. Let me see here. So, like I said, if you're in the field, you have a chance at winning. I would say there's probably about 25 to 30 cars who have a chance at winning this week at Talladega. So, so for my Cup picks, my first pick, I have to start off with Denny Hamlin because he's really good at super speedway. I almost said it again. He's very good at super speedway racing, and he's already locked into the next round, so he could be a little more aggressive here. So, I mean, that aggression could take him out, or it could lead to a win. So that's why Denny Hamlin is my first pick. My second pick is going to be Brad Keselowski because he is also very good at these super speedway races. He has, I don't even know how many wins at Talladega right now. He probably has 6, 7, 8 Talladega wins, something around there. So have to go with him, even though he hasn't been the best this year. He won at Talladega earlier this year, so I feel like Brad Keselowski is a real threat to win this weekend. And my third pick is going to be his teammate, Ryan Blaney, because he arguably is the best Penske car right now, and I did not think I would be saying that as of this year, but it looks like Ryan Blaney is the best Penske car right now. Plus, he won at Daytona a few weeks ago, so it's kind of hard not to go with Ryan Blaney here as my third pick. So, Matthew, go ahead and tell me your picks for this week at Talladega.
Alright, so my first pick is going to be Kyle Larson. Just because that's going to be my safe bet. You left him wide open, so I'm going to put him there because Hendrick cars have been really good at super speedways as well, so I got to go with him. My second pick is going to be Joe Logano. Like his other two teammates, he's really good at super speedways. He's won at Talladega a couple times. Even though 2015 won, we're not going to talk about that one. But as for my third pick, it's going to be William Byron. He's been a really good super speedway racer recently. He won at Daytona last year. He almost won at Talladega last year, and he almost was close at Talladega this year. So I got William Byron as my third pick.
Why did you have to remind me of that 2015 Talladega race? That's like that's the worst Talladega race of all time. That's back when they were still struggling with this.
I mean, 2018 kind of has a run for its money.
Okay, well, 2015...
When it was just the SHR train.
Yeah, but, 2015 was terrible because they were still trying to figure out the whole overtime rule and all of that. And everybody wrecked on the restart, 3 times in a row. They couldn't even get past the start-finish line without wrecking. And that happened, 2 or 3 times. And Oh my gosh, that was a mess. But we were talking about this off camera, and we're gonna do a non-playoff driver pick for an extra point. So if one of these non-playoff drivers win, we'll throw a point in there. So you can go ahead and go first and give me your non-playoff driver pick for Talladega. I already know who you're gonna pick, but you're welcome.
Will it be a Raceway racing
Yep.
car? It's gotta be Matt DiBenedetto, my boy Matty D. I mean, I know he can win in the super speedways. I know he can. He was up front of Talladega last year, but he got screwed up because of the whole controversy with the yellow line and all that, which somehow Danny Hamlin won that one. And then Daytona, last time at Daytona, he had a good run coming, but Chase Elliott just had to throw a bad block, and next thing you know, the whole field's wrecked, and Matt DiBenedetto was out of it. And I felt so bad for Matt DiBenedetto. But, yeah, I got Matt DiBenedetto. And also, it's for my aviation friend here at school. Since he's a big fan of him, I'm going to root for him this
There
weekend.
you go. Yeah, Matty D. You can't go wrong with rooting for him, especially at a restricted play racetrack. Like if you're a driver and your driver's teammates are out of it, you might as well cheer for Matty D because he's a really cool guy. Still looking for that first win. Hopefully he can get it this season. Hopefully, because obviously his future's unknown for next year. But for me, I'm gonna go with Tyler Reddick because I don't know, like
What, no Raceway racing?
no Rick Ware racing.
No BJ McGrath.
No. That's a strong pass.
David, how about the Whataburger car that was at Bristol? Let's bring that out there.
No, I'm gonna pass. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Tyler Reddick. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. He's had good. It's tough because I don't know. It's just so hard to pick. I was thinking about Austin Dillon, but he hasn't really been a factor. I was thinking about Ricky Stenhouse, but he hasn't really been a factor at restricted plate races lately. So I'm just gonna go with Tyler Reddick because I feel like he's the fastest car that isn't in the playoffs right now. So, well, you could argue. Why am I blanking on his name? Ross Chastain. You could count on him as well, but I'm gonna go with Tyler Reddick as my non-playoff driver pick. So that's gonna wrap it up for our picks. Do you have any other closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
I will make this bet. If Rick Ware Racing wins if Rick Ware Racing car finishes in the top 5 this weekend, I will not criticize about Rick Ware Racing ever again. I will never talk trash about them. I will never talk smack about their drivers. So if one of them gets a top 5 this weekend, I'll stop talking trash about them. Bet.
You heard it from the man himself. If Rick Ware Racing gets a top 5,
This will be easy.
you gotta set some more realistic expectations for them, man. Like you gotta say like if they don't wreck, because we all know what happened at Daytona. 3 out of 4 of their cars wrecked together at the same time. So the bet should be if all 4 Rick Ware Racing cars finish the race. You won't talk.
I will have a better prediction of what lap Stenhouse Jr. will wreck the whole field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Than that bet I just did.
it's gonna be a crazy weekend at Talladega for sure. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Check out the races, doubleheader on Saturday, Cup race on Sunday. But that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Our review video should be out probably around Monday, but you can stay tuned to our social media because we'll post on there when the video is out. But until then, we will see you guys in our next video.